All right, let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, everybody, I want to go ahead and welcome in. I'm apologizing for being a few minutes late. Didn't mean to have that happen. I got a phone call just before I was about to come on. And just hold on just real quick. I meant to send out a message. Because of the phone call, I got distracted as I was about to send out a message. Hey, I've gone live. Anyway, we're going to be watching film of Florida State. Crap. Did not mean for that to open on that screen. Just ignore that part, guys. Just ignore that part. Hopefully you didn't see anything. Sorry. It's in streaming modes, so you... Jeez Louise. What I should have done is gone to another screen. Let's go to the main streaming screen, and that's not what I wanted. Okay. Yeah, hold on just a second. The phone call got me all distracted, and I've gone live because I was like, "Oh, I'm late," and now I'm gonna go full talking screen. All right, I wanted to go ahead and watch the film. The jet motion run game for Florida State was very successful against Auburn, and unfortunately, I would love to watch the L-22 film. Got my hands on some clips. But Catapult Sports is being butts. They are claiming a lot of people's content when they upload all 22 film. It's not just me. They copyright, they'll claim college film. And it's not just me that's having it happen. It's others as well. So let's go ahead and go back to the main streaming screen. Let me go ahead and hide this so that you guys can see that. That's for a bot that is not working with anything popping up on screen. So that's fine. So I had it, I tested it, I uploaded it, and YouTube basically it was getting claimed by Catapult Sports. So I said, nope, we'll watch the broadcast version because the broadcast version didn't get claimed for whatever reason. It's not ESPN claiming it, it's this company. And it's like I said, it's affected other even bigger YouTubers than me. Like they'll claim like 10 seconds worth. I've disputed before with them and it's been instantly rejected. But I'm using this as a fair use, in my opinion, because I'm going through breakdowns. I'm talking about plays. I'm going through stuff with all of this in mind and still getting rejected. So welcome in. If you're interested, we're going to watch a few clips of this, and we're going to go through it. So we'll do the best I can. Again, can't use the L-22 film, but we can definitely go through this. One of the things I noticed in this game is that the jet sweep action by Florida State really caused a lot of problems for Alabama, especially when it came to the run game, not just running Castellanos. It was, handing the ball off to the running backs, things like that. And that they also set up their touchdown play. So let's go ahead and go through it right here. So this is early in the midway through the first quarter. We're going to have the jet sweep action. So we get the pull with the motion to number 12, and that, let me make sure I say his name right. Lucas, right there. He's coming in motion, and because of that, we're having that stretch the defense. You can see that the defense is being stretched horizontally, right? They've got to run. They've got to respect the jet sweep action. What this then does is it allows, technically, they're running what looks to be QB power. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning as we do it. So they're in a wing slot position. We'll call it wing slot just because, we'll use the college football Madden terms so you guys get it. I would probably call that ace duo left. But it's QB power, right? So it's stretching the defense. What they're trying to do is they're trying to stretch the defense out with the motion and then hit up inside on a QB power. And basically Castellanos, he's reading the defender, right? He's reading what this guy is probably doing. If this guy stays tight, then the ball's getting handed off on the jet sweep. If instead he goes with the jet sweep with the blocking, then Castellanos is going to pull it and go on power. Ironically, the defense does a pretty good job of stepping into the hole and preventing from hitting up inside. And so Castellanos actually bounces it to the outside, does a good job bouncing it to the outside. But again, you're getting the eyes of the defense. The defense has to respect this jet sweep action while they're trying to make the read on what the offensive line is doing. So That's part of the problem here is you've got the jet sweep going across right here. So you've got the jet sweep going across and you're trying to keep an eye on what is the offensive line doing? Oh, they're running power. I've got to step into it. But what if he hands the ball off? Like, it's reason why Gus Malzahn is doing this. Okay, so now here we go to the next clip that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. You can kind of see it setting everything up. That's why that reverse worked, because, again, they used the jet sweep, everything. This is trying to get eyes. We now have an unbalanced formation. We flip an offensive lineman over to the right, so it's unbalanced. And one of the things you're going to notice, let's go back to it, as we go and we have the flip, I don't think that the defense really is in a good leverage position here. When I look at the film, and we have to use we can't use the L22 film because of Catapult Sports. Come on, Catapult Sports. There's like a lot of defenders on the opposite side of the ball. Usually what you do is you split the field right over the ball, right? And then you count the number of defenders. He's technically, this guy right here, he's technically on the other side of the ball. So you've got 4 defenders over to this side, 1, 2, 3. I think the defense is a little out leveraged in terms of this. So I would have liked them to bump over a little bit more. They're head up on the center and guard. So this is basically like a bare front being given by Alabama. But they've got to bump over. And then we're going to run a counter with the jet sweep. Remember? So I don't know if you guys just saw it. Let's go back. We've got the jet sweep going, and we're going to run counter back this way. So it's quarterback counter. But he's reading, and this is from the broadcast version. Sorry, guys. That's not my yellow line. That's the yellow line from the broadcast. But what he's doing is his eyes are probably looking at the defense who's looking and squeezing. They're squeezing with the pulling offensive lineman. And because they're squeezing with the pulling offensive lineman, it's the toss sweep, carry out the fake. And maybe this is just a call and they're carrying out the fake anyway. But he's looking at it. And he's got to be looking at something, right? He's looking at the defense. Now, maybe the defense is still giving that look of, hey, we're just running with it, and he's just going to give it anyway. But you notice that they're going to have some yards. Not a ton of yards, 2 yards. But again, what's it doing? It's setting you up. You're the defense. You're seeing this jet sweep with the handoff. And they're carrying out the fake with the counter. Maybe that's what they're doing on it when we look at the film. But again, your eyes are going with the jet sweep. Look at all the defense. You got the guys going with the counter. Everybody's running with the jet sweep. So what you're doing upstairs, if you're a coaching staff, is you're looking, okay, are they running with that jet sweep? Maybe it's just a called jet touch pass with the carry out with the counter backside. But next time, you see how the defense ran with the jet sweep? Well, now, let's go back to it. See how these guys right here, they're all going to run with the jet sweep. He's bouncing over. We got all these people bouncing over. Everybody's running with the jet sweep. Now, if you're the offensive coaches, you're watching that and you're going, oh, we might be able to run the counter back to the opposite side because everybody's running with the jet sweep action. And we can do that. Okay. So again, we're back to this motion, this pre-snap motion. We're going to carry out the fake. We're going to ride. And again, QB power. This, remember, first time we watched, the first clip of the game that we watched, of that motion, Castellanos bounced it to the outside. This time he's going to hit it right up inside. And like I said, I wish I could show you the end zone view because it's a really good look, but can't because of Catapult Sports. But he's going to cut backside. We've got overflow by the linebacker on the play. Bama's doing a lot of tight, right? We've got a ton of tight. They're tight right in here. So realistically, the power is kind of nice against it because you can wash things down if you're blocking this. You can basically be down block, down block, down block, wrap around, kick out. But you've got the sweep, you've got the jet motion. So that's going to negate this defender right here. He's going to go with the motion. Like, it's just kind of a nice way to take out the tight formation that you're getting from Alabama if you're Florida State. So I can see why they're running quarterback power right here. So we're going to get this. Everybody's stepping down. We got the lead with it. Again, remember, we've got guys running with this motion. This motion is getting people to move. They're having to move with the action. That's what they're doing. They're running with it. And because of that, that then allows Castellanos to pop up inside. Scrapes too far over, takes himself, actually gives up the backside. If he stays right here in the hole, this is no game. He's right in the hole. He's got to trust that his teammate right here is going to be the one to come over and help out. He's also got help right here. You've got to trust your teammates in place, right? You've got a job to do. You do your job. You've got scraping over as well to help out. But over commits to play side. That allows Castellanos to cut back inside for the first down on the play. So again, we've set this up. Now we're going to do it again. Same formation that we just watched. It's the ace duo. We've now watched three plays with this formation. This is one of the formations that they really liked. You're going to carry it. Now it's the counter. Remember that we ran it before. We went back second play that we watched. It was the jet toss to the jet sweep action. Now we're going to pull it and run counter back to the other way with our quarterback. So we tossed it to him, and then it was a counter action. This time we're carrying out this fake. We carried out the fake, and now we're going to run quarterback counter. Okay, so carry out that fake, counter. It's just, what are the eyes? Look at defenders for Alabama. Okay, they're all running. He's running. They're all having to respect this jet sweep action that it's pulling them away from where they can be, and that's allowing the play to hit up inside. So let's go back, watch the play. Notice that we had guys going with the motion. He's going with the motion. He's going with the motion. Okay, we're getting kick out blocks. Basically, we're trying to help out with the counter. We're going to get a seam right up in here. The seam's going to be right in here. We're getting we're getting kick out blocks right here. And that's where Castellanos is going to hit up inside. But because of the respect that you have to show, because again, remember, they've tossed the ball. They've done this already like 2 or 3 times. They've tossed the ball on the jet sweep. You have to respect it. You've got to go with that motion. Takes defenders out of the way. Castellanos can hit up inside, get a gain. And they're setting up everything. Now, this is the touchdown play. So remember, we've been watching the motion. Okay, we're going to run the quarterback off of that motion. We're going to run power off of that motion with the quarterback. We're going to run counter off of that motion. What are you primed to do now if you're defense for Florida State? Defense for Alabama. You're thinking, okay, we've seen now them pull 2 times the counter. All right, 2 times they've run the counter off of this action. So now, off of that action, they're going to run the quarterback, right? Wrong. And that's why this reverse works in the game for a touchdown. I know there's also the talk about the effort. We can talk about that, but I want you to watch. So here we go. Back to the jet sweep. Notice everybody's running with it. We've got so many guys for the defense of Alabama. What are they all doing? They're all trying to respect that jet sweep action. There's also the pulling lineman, right? We've got the counter action being done by Florida State. Here's why I say offensive linemen are a skill position, because he's gonna step as though he's pulling, and then he's gonna stop, turn back around, and lead up and seal off the inside. So let's go back right here to the beginning. I just stopped it because I wanted to show what's happening with the defense pre-snap. You guys got to watch that, right? What's it doing? It's influencing defenders. It's helping with the run game. And this is one of the things this is why motion can be really tough on a defense, is because of that. So we get that. Everybody's rotating. Now look at so let's go pre-snap look. Looks pretty balanced, right? Now we get the motion with the jet sweep action. Everybody's going with it. We've got guys just bouncing. He's pulling, and he's going to then, notice he's pulling, but he's going to stop, spin around, and lead back to the inside, as I talked about. Get the one block that he seals. There's 18 jogging, which, by the way, everybody lost their mind about on social media, which I get, because if he's hustling, he may be able to stop this play from being a touchdown. But I just want you to notice, because everything's been set up. Remember, we've been watching plays. They've been running it with the jet sweep. They've been running power. They've been running that counter. Everything is now gassed up on Alabama to, hey, this is the perfect time. They're starting to overcommit on the jet sweep. They're starting to overcommit on the pulling lineman. Well, now let's hit them with the reverse. And that's why this play call worked so well, is because everybody on Alabama's defense was sucked in by that motion. That's why the title of the stream is how FSU's motion run game dominated Alabama. It's because it got the eyes of the Alabama defenders really kind of looking all over the place. There's a lot of issues as well with players not fitting into the right gaps as well. But this is part of the problem, is just this motion is just getting eyes off center. It's really, you've got to be really disciplined as a defense with this type of action, because if you overcommit to one side, you can see what happens. And we'll just run it again, toss. Everybody's in the chase. Poor effort right here by number 18. Let's look up his name. Yeah, that's not good. He's a junior. Junior players should not be having that kind of effort in a game. I won't publicly call him out, but he's a junior. I just wanted to see what year he was. Just not great effort. We're able to get that, and it's a touchdown. So again, that play was set up, like basically. That's why they called it. They've been setting it up. You just saw so many plays, and that's not all the plays, guys, with that jet sweep. I just took a mixture of them. Like, we're not going to do all the run plays with the zone. I think you're going to get a good idea of what I'm talking about with this video with me talking about all this. Again, this motion stuff, getting eyes, looking all over. It's hard on a defense. I can't explain it any better than that, especially when you're running that, and then you're running with, and you got to respond to the pulling lineman, and that could be fake, as you're going to see right here. Now it's an RPO that they're going to run. Here we go. We get the motion going again. Fake. Oh no, sorry, it's a RPO basically. We're going to throw it, and we're going to get a first down on it. Let's go ahead and go back. Do the linemen get a little too far downfield? No, just barely in. They're barely behind. They're barely behind the 3-yard. Remember, guys, there's the 3-yard extended neutral zone. Ball's on the 21. Not past the 24 when the ball's on its way. But that, again, now you add in not just runs off of it. Excuse me, hold on. Not just adding runs off of it. Now we're going to run an RPO on you. Your head's going to be spinning because of it. Now, Alabama also helped out because he's coming on a blitz. I don't know if you guys saw that. So one of the problems is, and this happened when I was a coach, by the way. One of the teams I was with, we called this type of a blitz, and our safety really didn't rotate very well over the top. And they threw a touchdown pass on us. We were so mad at the safety. But if you notice, as the play goes right here, okay, again, everybody's going with that motion. They got to respect the motion. They got to respect all the stuff. We got the run game action as well. So everybody's kind of getting sucked up. He should be playing over the top and helping out, right? Because we've got the blitz coming right here. He's coming on the blitz. He should be rotating over to help out. He's going to rotate back, right? He's rotating back, but it's going to give up so much space that Castellanos just has to throw it out there. Ball's caught. You can see that, and it's our buddy, number 18, the junior, showing up late, and it's a first down. So I don't know what he's being taught on that, but that's something that's probably going to get corrected. He probably isn't supposed to drop back so far. Probably needs to be a little bit flatter, respect that route, because if they just throw that quick hitch, that you saw what happens right there, and that's why it's a first down. So again, motion. What are your eyes seeing? Are your eyes being disciplined? This is part of the problem, and you're having to respect all this motion, and this is what a Gus Malzahn offense looks like. And when you're going fast, imagine this is all going fast. You're trying to get the call from the sideline, and you're trying to make sure that you understand where everything goes. Now, I put this play in. It's not really a motion, because this is just it's got the motion, but it's not the jet sweep action. So they're going to bring in number 13, who is a tight end, Randy Pittman Jr., and he's going to come in. He's just going to lead block, and they're going to get a good gain on the play, and I want to show you why they get a good gain on the play. And others have pointed it out, so I don't want to just be like no one's noticed this. One of the problems, and I mentioned this, is Alabama at times would get into like run stunts where the defender, the lineman's not getting over. Okay. I don't know if they're running a line stunt here where supposed to be filling in this gap right here, supposed to be filling in this gap right here, and then he's going to back up and come across. Or if he's keying on Pittman right here. Some teams will tell you if you get a sniffer to follow the sniffer. Okay, I call Pittman a sniffer here because of where he's aligned. He's in front of the quarterback, so I'm going to call him a sniffer. You'll commonly hear a lot of people, and some coaches will teach this, to follow the sniffer. The sniffer will lead you to the play. Where does Pittman go? Well, he goes right here. So I don't know if this is a called line stunt. If it is, these two guys right here, these two defensive linemen, do not get over well enough. They don't fill the gaps. If you're running a line stunt, they've got to fill. One of the things, if you're going to hear defensive coaches talk about, even offensive coaches or anybody who coaches, is gap sound, being gap sound. You want to make sure that you're having that gap integrity where every gap is filled with a defender, so there's no hole for the running back to hit. You will bounce it to help, or keep that outside leverage where you're holding that outside gap so that your teammates can help when he cuts back. Things like that. You really I coached defensive line. We would teach basically build a wall. We would hold the gaps and then rally to tackle, right? So if there's no hole, the running back is trying to bounce, there's nowhere to go, and then the safeties come up to help, and then we rally, the linebackers scrape over, we make the tackle. It's like a 1 or 2 yard gain, and it was very successful for us. Other teams, they don't do that, but they still have someone assigned for each gap. What you're seeing here as we run the play, and I know that was a little bit of an explanation, as we go through it, what you're going to see is, this is why I say, I think right here, our defender is supposed to follow. And you know what? I just realized, let me go forward. I think he's supposed to follow Pittman, and instead he takes himself out of the play. And we'll go to the end zone view of this just to give you an idea. Remember, I kept the end zone view from the broadcast in this. Okay? So right here, if this is a line stunt, he needs to be going into this gap. He needs to be going into this gap. And he's trying to take him. He would have this gap. He would scrape over and take this gap right here. So he should attack Pittman, blow that up. If everybody's taking a hold, there's nowhere to go for the running back. That's what you would expect in theory. That would be, Crema. I don't know how to say his name. Crema. That's where he would have nowhere to go. But that's not what happens. And that's why I say, I believe right here, let me go ahead and erase this. He's actually reading where Pittman's going. I think he's reading where Pittman's going because he knows how he backs up. He's not acting like it's a line stunt. If it's a line stunt, he would be going immediately into this gap. These two are in the same hole, so those two are being blocked by 3. Makes it real simple for them to work up their combo up to the next level as well, because these two are in the same hole getting blocked. This play's kind of dead. Pittman's going to fit in here, and he's going to block right here on number 10. Let me make sure. I'm not an Alabama fan or a Florida State fan, but I wanted to talk about this play. So he's going to block Justin Jefferson, and then that's really his name, Justin Jefferson, number 10. Okay. And then let me listen to it. Nakai Hill-Green, number 41, I think is supposed to be reading Pittman, and he's scraping over. He's not acting like it's a line stunt. And that's why I think this is just bad football, because the problem is Nakai's scraping over. There's no one in this gap right here for the defense. They're both caught up. So who has this hole? Would it be our junior boy, our low effort guy who's supposed to come down and fill in this hole? I don't know. That's why I'm saying, is it a line stunt? Because Nakai's not acting like it's a line stunt. If it's a line stunt where the two defensive tackles would go across, he would be fitting into that. The action pre-snap, the action post-snap is not giving that to me. The action post-snap is, I'm watching Pittman, who's going to be leading up this hole, and block. So the reason I'm including this is because this is part of the problem that also plagued Alabama on Saturdays. You would have plays like this where you'd have two players in the same hole. Well, why are they in the same hole? Then why are they in the same gap? that just makes it easy for the offense. And that's what you see because they're able to hit play side because you would have defenders take themselves out of the hole. They would actually scrape over and allow those cutbacks or the player to take that. So that's, again, part of the problem here. And the reason I say the motion stuff, it just messed with the minds of Alabama. There were issues of being gap sound, but also with the motion. It just created so many problems for the Crimson Tide defense. And that's why the run game, had the success that it did. Again, we get the motion and off to the running back. Okay. Yeah, again, not a big gain. But watch the defense pre-snap. What's the defense doing? This time they're staying a little bit more square. This has probably been corrected a little bit. Remember, the first few plays we were watching, that defense is jumping out here and everything's going back the other way. That's why that reverse worked, because they all were running with the pulling linemen. They were running with the jet sweep, and all of a sudden it's all going back the other way. That was part of it. That's what was happening with regards to this. So here, if you notice, let's go back to it. They're coming down. They're not really going with the jet sweep motion. They're just watching. They're sitting and they're squaring and they're making their read, and then they're going to react. So this play doesn't work as well because notice no one runs with the jet sweep. They really kind of sit there again. But what am I watching? I'm watching upstairs. I'm the GA or I'm the analyst. And I'm going, hey, they didn't run with the jet sweep. Maybe we hit them with the jet sweep again. Okay, like that's stuff that's being communicated. When I was up in the box, I'd be like, hey, they're walking down. The safeties are walking down. We got to take a deep shot. We got to take a play action deep shot. They're walking down to stop the run game. Let's go over the top of them. Next play, boom. We're taking that deep shot. Like you're giving the information up in the box as well to the coaches to help them out. So there should be somebody who's probably saying to Gus, hey, Gus, they didn't respect the jet sweep that time. Puts that in his head. He's like, okay, with his clipboard that he uses, and probably is like, okay, let's talk about that in the future. Okay. So, yeah, we get the motion. It's not the jet sweep, but it's motion in. We get a wham block, and we get a good gain. People are getting washed down, don't have good fits. And it's just way too easy for Florida State there. The motion stuff is just causing so many problems. He's just going in motion. I don't love the effort right here on the end. We get mogged right here. This is called getting your ass kicked in regular terms, because he's just going to get buried. He's going to get just buried down into the ground. This is called kicking his ass. If you're an offensive lineman, you love it. You're just going to take him, absorb that initial push, and then just bam, I baptize you. Okay? They're doing this with they're not even doing combo blocks. And they're able to get up to the next level immediately, getting this type of a hole. And you're getting a 7 to 8 yard gain off of that. That is a problem if you're a defensive coach. You're not going to love that. You want your end, hey, that tackle's climbing immediately. You got to be kind of squeezing with that. Hey, there's probably someone coming the other way, or the quarterback. You got to respect the quarterback run, but maybe there's someone coming the other way. I should be immediately like, hey, is there someone coming? No? Okay, quarterback. Like, you got to try and split the difference. It's very hard, especially with an athletic quarterback. And that's why sometimes Nick Saban's teams even had trouble with athletic quarterbacks, because they could do stuff that you're not used to. But you can kind of see here, like, if you don't have to have a double team and you're getting a space that's open wide enough for the back just merely get 7 to 8 yards, that's a problem. But again, we're motioning. We're getting these eyes of the defense looking all around. So that's how it goes, guys. That's why it's tough on defenses. I hope you guys understand. The way I'm talking is like I'm trying to point out it's very, very difficult with regards to that. Okay, so now we get the motion in, and it sets up what? We get the action of a run play. Oh, well, now we'll throw the ball on you for a huge gain, right? So Sawchuk, let's go back to it. Sawchuk is lined up. He's not lined up like a running back, right? He's lined up in the backfield like he's a receiver. He's at the depth of a running back, but he's not lined up like a running back. So is he leading on a jet sweep? Going to motion back, stop. Then we're going to carry out as though we're handing it off for outside zone. And while that's all happening, oh, hey, let's just leak back out and no one's going to run with us. And this is, again, that motion. People get lost with the motion. They shouldn't. But for whatever reason, defenders get lost. You get the wheel. We get the post wheel. Play action forces the linebackers to have to step up. They're not able to run, to catch. Lucas is able to get out. Big gain. Let's go ahead, go back again as we watch it. Get the motion back, stop. The way that the offensive line, the backfield action is initially showing, it's forcing what? All of the defense to respect that it's a run play. So they're all stepping up. That means that they're going to be out of position because Lucas is going to be running full speed on his wheel route. And because of the post, you have to respect it as the safety. So we're going to get the post. That's going to force that safety to hang right there. That allows the wheel route to go for a big gain. Right? You got to respect that coming across. Oh, crap. No one's able to run with Lucas. You got guys trying to run and get there. And it's just, this was also another thing, was Florida State just looked faster. It's crazy how much faster Florida State looked in many ways. You saw right there, Xavier Mincy, he is running as fast, as hard as he can to try and catch up. And he's putting in effort. He's just not as fast. Like you can see, he's trying his hardest. And I got to give him props for that because he's trying his best. But you could just see that Florida State's just faster. They're just a faster team. That's just the way it is, guys. They're a faster team. So we've motioned in. We've motioned across. We've motioned across with just having a wham and then leading on a run play with a sniffer position. We've got guys coming across into the backfield and then releasing out. Like, this is why I say the motion run game dominated Alabama, because it created so many problems for them to respect. Okay, here we go. We'll now go back to the next run play. We've got 3 minutes and 14 seconds total of plays. And I think we're doing a pretty good price. I'm trying not to spend too much time on each play, but I want to just point out what exactly is going on with each of them so that you guys can see kind of a breakdown of what's happening with the offense and then how it's affecting the defense. And hopefully I'm getting that across to you guys. I never know. Hopefully I'm not using terminology that you guys don't know and are like, what the heck's he talking about? Okay, jet sweep motion. Here we go. Oh, get the cutback. Okay, so we got the motion coming across. Defense did a lot better job in the second half in many ways with this action. So we see the two defenders right here. They're having to respect. You still have to respect. You can't just be like, I'm going to ignore. I'm just going to ignore the jet sweep. You can't do that. You have to respect the jet sweep as a run play. So, I'm sorry, I'm playing with my hair a little bit. They're respecting it. So they're having to respect it, but they're not immediately kind of jumping out. You guys, we saw that with the plays early on, jumping out. Like, it just creates that problem for them. That's not happening here. So we got this all happening with the bounce out, things like that. And notice we've got the sniffer with Pittman Jr. He's leading into the hole. Lot better job. Play side is going to be filled, so he's got to take the cutback because we've got a good job by our nose. That's our nose, blowing the center back into the hole. So play side, he's standing him up. We would call it blowing up the postman if you're trying to take a double team, but he's standing him up. Now he's in the hole. Now Sawchuk's going to have to take that cutback. Problem is, there is a hole there for the cutback. We've got guys in their gaps. Okay, here's the problem. Trying to do too much. And this is again, we've talked about this, and it feels like a broken record when it comes to defense. Deontay Lawson is doing too much here. His teammate, Jefferson, would be right here in the hole. He's in his spot. Deontay Lawson jumps back and gives up the hole right here. Remember what I said earlier? We want to kind of create a wall. When I coached with the defensive line, we would try to create a wall. So our linebackers and defensive line, we're creating a wall. Where's the running back going to go? He has nowhere to go. He's going to bounce it. Oh, we're going to come up and rally to the tackle. Well, let me go back a little bit with this. As we go back, we'll run the play. Deontay Lawson is technically in the right spot, but then he jumps out of it, and I get it. You know, you're trying to help make a play, but his teammate would have it. Do your job as you're trying to find it. He gets himself caught up with the block. It's like he's trying to avoid the block. He's got to fit in this gap. Do your job. Do your job. I will harp on it. You got to trust your teammates, okay? You got to trust your coaches, and they got to be able to trust you that you're going to do your job on the field. His hole, his gap is right here, right? He's scraping over, bang. That's his hole. That's who he should, that's where he should be. Oh, excuse me. Okay? He's scraping over. He's fitting in exactly where he needs to. His teammate is going to be able to fit. Do your job. I don't like as well right here, number 42, I don't like that effort as well by Pierre. Squeeze and attack. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay? Come up. You see Pittman coming. Go kick his ass. Okay? You squeeze down and you aggressively take that on. Take that on. Okay? You do that. Guess what happens? Oh, where's Sawchuk going to go? You've got he can hit the play side. Oh, but there's defenders that aren't getting blocked. They're in there. The defensive line is winning the fight up front. Now you squeeze and you take that block on. Now, where does Sawchuk go? He has to bounce it outside. Well, if he bounces outside and you've kept your outside arm free, you can go. Your teammates can run up and help. They're not going to get caught up. So, you know, sorry. I get a little fired up. I'm an offensive guy, but I get fired up about defensive play as well, guys. And I just like, do your job. It's just squeeze it. But you hesitate and you watch. And ironically, you know what? Maybe Lawson's not even supposed to be in that hole. Maybe Lawson's supposed to be in right here, and he's in the wrong spot because he's trying to do too much again. But don't love this. Squeeze, take that on, blow that up, close the hole, make a fence, and there's nowhere for the running back to go. Instead, you stand, you turn to give your chest, and all Pittman's got to do, no, let me just play a little patty cake with you. Now there's the hole, and you've given up a 5-yard gain. Okay? That's how it goes, guys. That's how it goes with it. Just little things. It's little things when it comes to stopping the run. You got to just be physical, but you got to be willing to take on some of those blocks. You know, people will be like, oh, they're trying to. No. Sometimes that's your job, is take that block on. Boom. Stand him up, close the gap, make him bounce. Okay, motion again. God dang. Okay. We're getting this motion. They're just using the motion to get the defense's eyes. Again, these aren't all the plays, but you're seeing how that motion is, the jet sweep motion especially, is influencing the defense of Alabama. They are influencing them so much. So we get the motion. Okay, it's basically a wham. It's basically inside zone with a wham by Pittman. Okay. You've got to respect. Again, you've got to respect the motion, so that's what we're going to get. Jefferson steps in, but I don't know who's supposed to be in this gap right here, which is where we're going to cut back to. So let's look at it pre-snap. Let's go back to it pre-snap. I mean, they're in tight. All right, it's like they're in four eyes, basically. We get a double team on these two guys. So realistically, two gapping right here. He's losing. He's keeping the two linemen engaged. So is he. I think Jefferson has to be able to play both gaps. He kind of commits to this gap. Our defender's gone with the motion, so he's kind of taking himself out of the way as well. So he's going to be slow. And because of that, there's the hole right there, pop up inside, gain. I think when I look at the film, when I look at this play, and I go with it in slow motion, defensive linemen, the nose, and the two defensive ends have really kind of done their job. Right? They've got all 5 offensive linemen engaged. He's keeping outside leverage. He can fit in that hole. If the back tries in here, you're just going to have to kind of slow play this. Maybe it's because of the motion reaction that our number 3, and who is number 3? Okay. And listen to his name. Keon Sab. Maybe he's supposed to fit in that gap, and because of the motion, he gets pulled a little bit and he gets himself out of the way. And then he has to come up and fit up and take that on. But I don't know who's supposed to be in that gap. Ideally, I would like it to be your linebacker, and he's just two gapping to help out, and he's kind of reading and not being super aggressive. He gets too super aggressive, gets himself out of the way, and that's a good gain on the play. But could be because he's going where he's supposed to be. Sab's supposed to fill into that because he's walking down, but because of the motion, Sab goes with it. So now he has to readjust. He's out of position, and that's where the ball hits in the hole. So again, broken record. I know I'm a broken record on this. You can see how this motion with the fake jet sweep is just affecting Alabama's run defense. And I'm sure that's something that's got to be going to be corrected. I'm hoping it's corrected, or else if not, I would run jet sweep and do all this type of stuff against Alabama because they just looked lost sometimes on these plays. Just going to be honest about it. Okay, there's another play. Okay, hey, look, more motion. Okay, this time we're going to hand it off. Oh, nicely done. Right, we're going to stretch it out. Okay, we're going to stretch this out. This is what we like to see, okay? We like to see this. We get the run with it. His hands are out. But again, we're watching. What are we watching for? Okay, I think if Castellano pulls this, he gets the first down. Why? We got the defenders running again. They're stretching out the defense. They're all getting stretched out. They're all running. They're all out here. I think if Castellanos had pulled this is a first down. But you live with it if you're an offensive coach with what your quarterback does. And you can see that Lucas is trying to cut it. It's a good job stepping in by our guy that, the effort got called into question. He steps up, makes the tackle. But when you watch the play, notice how, again, and reminder, if you're watching that up in the box, what are you looking at? Oh, okay, maybe we have it. It might be we get the block miss, so he comes down pretty quick. So you're just watching this stuff, guys. What's the defense doing? Are they shooting with the motion? If they are, okay, we're going to step down. We're going to run something back across. So we're back to it where the defense is being influenced with this motion coming across. Okay. This is the fourth quarter. And remember, we're just jumping through plays. We're not doing all the plays. We're just going to jump through plays that I thought we could talk about the most. Got the motion. What's happening? Watch the defense. So he is immediately triggering. I think he's just immediately triggering outside, immediately to go out there to help out on the play. But notice, again, what's happened. Those two have gone as well with it, with the motion. We're running quarterback counter off of that. So we've got defenders taking themselves out of the way. Little bit better job right here by our guy that I got on earlier. It's the same guy right there. A little bit better taking that on. I'd like him to stay lower and square, but that's me. That's just me. I'm not paid the big bucks, but that's just me. I'd like him to, as he comes down, like he's kind of absorbing the hit, guys. I'd like him to just, but does a good job forcing the play back to the inside. It's a good job right here. But the problem, remember, again, defenders have taken themselves out of the way, and that allows Castellanos on 2nd and 7 to get a good gain on the play. So as we run it again, just notice pre-snap. How many defenders are going with it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? He's going with it. He recovers quicker, but he's going with it. 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders are going with it. His eyes are on the jet sweep too. He's not looking at the quarterback. His eyes are looking out here. So you really have about 6 guys. Remember, there's 11 players, so half of the team is looking at the jet sweep. Eye discipline, that's why they do it. That's why they do it. Gus Malzahn will do it. That's why these coaches will do it. Mess with the eyes of the defenders where they're not even looking. He goes with the jet motion, but he notices the pulling player is quick enough that he's able to get back into the play. That's Lawson, I think. Yeah, it's Lawson. He gets back. But because the other, Nakai and the rest, and that's Sab, there's still a hole that allows Castellanos. That's not Sab. That's number 2. That's Xavier Brown. Because the motion messed with their eyes, they're out of position. They've opened up a hole. That's opened up a hole for Castellanos to hit up inside once the pullers get through because of them running with the jet sweep. All right. Next play. This is the last drive. Okay. 2nd and 9. Again, we're having to go with this. I wish I could use the endo view to show you more, guys, but can't. Get the motion. Oh, hey, look. What happened? Oh, we're running the reverse. What were we talking about? What were we seeing? Remember, we were seeing defenders running with the motion. They were starting to commit heavy to the motion, right? They're all walked down. Everybody's where the motion is going towards. So what's going to happen? Look at the eyes. They're all watching. We've got the pulling offensive lineman again. This is the play that scored a touchdown. Pulling, and they're going to stop, spin around, and come back. All the eyes are watching the jet motion, watching where the linemen are coming towards. Eyes are not on the reverse, so they're out of position. Now they've got to scrape over the top. Jefferson Lawson and our guy. That was, and again, that's just bad effort. Bad effort, dude. Get in the freaking tackle. Go get in the tackle. I'm not even an Alabama fan, and I'm like annoyed as hell at this as a former coach. Like, come on, dude. But again, but remember, this motion, they've been running it, and they've noticed once again, hey, the Tide players are running with the motion. They're starting to sell out again to that motion, that jet sweep action. They're starting to step with it. Perfect time to call this play by Gus Malzahn because he's got all these guys. They're already set up. They're already primed. Time to call out the reverse. They get it. Defender's out of position. Don't get the touchdown, but you get a big gain. And again, effort. Go get in the freaking tackle. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? All right. He could have gotten in the tackle. Number 18, Hubbard. Like, get in the tackle, dude. That's why you're getting called out, dude. That's why you are getting called out on social media. All right. And then this play. This is the final one we're going to use. This is the touchdown that basically seals the game. We get the motion into the backfield. Everybody's eyes, what are they doing? They're watching the pulling players. And that's just, when we talk about effort, what's effort? That's effort for a touchdown. That's the kind of effort you want as a coach that's going to get you a touchdown. Okay? But remember, we're getting the motion in. It's going to influence the defense. They're going to step up. Now they're watching. Castellanos is going to pull the ball, is going to give the ball, but all eyes are on Castellanos. Why? Well, remember, most of the run plays up to this point, besides that reverse, have been a lot of run plays with the quarterback, Castellanos. So you're thinking, okay, here we go. 2nd and 4, they're not going to pull it out of Castellanos' hands. He makes the read. Defenders step out of the way. And it's a touchdown. Okay? And because you've got the 2 sniffers leading, again, I mentioned some teams teach players to watch the sniffers. What are they doing? They're watching. Notice that they're going. They're stepping up. They're following the action with the blocking, thinking, okay, Castellanos. Nope. That's not who's going to get it. And it's a touchdown it's Sawchuk who gets the ball and he fights for the touchdown. That's the effort, right? We talked about effort. That's the effort right there. So that's it in a nutshell. That's how the motion stuff really influenced Alabama's defense, but really kind of also set up some big plays for Florida State because they got the defense cheating one way or another. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea. Hopefully everything that I just went over, you guys understood, and it gives you an idea. Like I said, would have loved to have used the all-22, couldn't, but happens. Anyway, NFL season starts tonight. Hopefully you guys are excited. That's going to be it for me. Any questions in the chat? I don't know if anybody's in the chat. If you are, let me know. You can ask the question right now because why not? I'll wait just a few seconds for that. But again, I appreciate anybody who came through and watched this. That's how Florida State's motion run game dominated Alabama. It got the defense to do things that they weren't necessarily able to, respond to. They kind of got out of their lanes. Their eyes got undisciplined. They were starting to cheat, and that allowed Florida State to run some plays that went opposite and take advantage and get yards. And that's why they had like 120 rushing yards at the half against Alabama. That's why everybody was shocked, because that shouldn't be happening to an Alabama team. I think Alabama fans, welcome to the reality of the post-Nick Saban era. What you had was an amazing run of a coach who I don't think we'll ever see again at the collegiate level just because of the way it's currently being done. You had a coach who was also willing to adapt and do stuff when the time came to adapt to the modern game. And I think right now you're kind of coming back to what it is. There's correctable things for Alabama defensively. Effort, but also, some rules and doing your job and taking on blocks and things like that. And we'll see what happens with Florida State and Gus Malzahn going forward. Anyway, I appreciate y'all being in the chat. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to run my end credits. This stream will be up for you guys to watch no matter what. We'll see you later. I do want to recognize the members of this channel at the booster level and above for their support. If you wish to have your name in a video just like this, make sure to check out the join link in the description below. Here on the end screen, you can see that there's another recommended video. Make sure to click that and watch it. Also, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future breakdown videos. I hope you have a great rest of the day.